Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Welcome to my channel, Thinkable Art. Tonight we're going to be painting some green palette colors. I'm going to be going over my favorite greens, and I've got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's man in chat for tonight's show. This is our Color Crush color of the month. We've changed it from olive to green because there weren't enough of both. So we're going to just do all the greens tonight. It'll be a lot of fun. Let's get started. A little TMI there at the beginning, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so the original plan was to do olive for our color of the month, but once I got kind of my greens out and started looking at them, we already did several of these greens when we did our color teal. If you're new to my channel, we've been going over colors all year long, doing a different color every month. So we started out the year with teal, and in this we have phthalo blue or phthalo green blue shade, light phthalo green. We had some aqua green, cobalt teal, other ones that are obviously turquoise, but we also included some greens like Viridian and different ones that kind of skirted the green teal border. So it kind of covered most of these greens here in my master color list here. And there were only a few that we could do tonight, and then have some left over for when we were going to do the green for the color month in November. So I decided we're just going to go ahead and push through, do all of our greens today, do all the remaining greens that we have in our palette tonight. There aren't too many. I don't think it should take us. Hopefully we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, so we'll do all of our greens tonight, and then that way we'll have in December, we can do it as our like anything goes month. We can do all the rainbow of colors in December. Should be fun. All right, so let's go ahead and get started tonight because we've got a lot to cover. If you want to get any of these palettes from our previous colors that we've done, so we started with teal, we've got blue, indigo, purple, coral, yellow, and now we'll have green added. Oh, and then there's magenta in there too. So we've done all these ones so far. Isn't that fun? All of these are available to download for free on my website if you want to. And of course, make your own color swatches, something that I always recommend because it's really helpful to have color mixes and just to get confident with what, using color and kind of knowing how to mix certain tones of colors to match up, photographs or whatever that you're doing. And I'll talk about later too, we're doing a series with my challenge group that's part of my Patreon tier, $15 tier, on Thursdays, where we're doing color palettes out of a book, and then we're color matching to that palette and creating very simple paintings out of those palettes, changing the original color of the image to fit the palette. And it's been really fun so far. We've only done 1 week, but we're going to be continuing that if you're interested in that. But anyhow, so this has been a fun year. I think I've really enjoyed it. Hope you guys have too, and learned something about color. It's always challenging to mix just to the right color. So that, I think, series has been going to be really fun. This one and the Thursday class is going to be really good brush up on just how to accurately mix colors, if that's something you're interested in. All right, let's get going here. Got a lot of paint colors to go over. So my favorite green that I have in my palette all the time pretty much is phthalo green yellow shade. There's also the phthalo green blue shade, like I mentioned, that is here. Either one, kind of mix and match, just depends on what you're painting and that kind of thing. But because I don't always include phthalo blue in my palette, sometimes I just have ultramarine blue. You can use phthalo green yellow shade here and get a lot of mixtures with it. And really any of the phthalos, phthalo blue, phthalo green, either one of them you can use to mix up really nice teals and other shades of green. So let's go ahead and use this one. This one's yellow, phthalo green yellow shade. Okay, I'm doing it this way. Remember how I did it. Going in with kind of full color there, and then just kind of cleaning it out the brush and using it to get to see the undertones, because sometimes the undertones shift quite a bit when you're painting. It also helps to just see how it's going to look when it's mixed with white, because that sort of glaze color of the undertone gives you a little bit of an indication of what it'll look like with white. White will kind of dull the color a little bit usually, but we'll mix this with white later. You can see what I mean. All right, trying to get, there we go, really good, accurate green. So this is the green that I usually choose. I know there's a lot of people that favor colors like sap green and different things, and we're going to talk about that later, why I don't choose to use those greens, and partly it's just because they're not single pigment colors. So I usually like to pick single pigment colors whenever I can. Okay, come on, Cap. Get back on. There we go. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna give that to Mark. What is the pigment on there?
Pigment PG36.
PG36. Okay. PHTH. I always leave the H out. HALO. Green. And I'm just going to put YS, yellow shade. And this is golden up here in the corner. Okay, so there's our phthalo green yellow shade. PG36. The number for the phthalo green blue shade is PB153. That's interesting. I wonder if it's the same in this one. PG7 on the golden one. I'm going to go ahead and put PG7 here because I know I didn't mark all of we started marking the pigments later on in this series, and it's really helped kind of to keep track of which mixtures, especially the mixture colors, the mixed colors, what's in them and how they compare to each other. Okay, so here we go. So this is the second color that I usually have on my palette. Not always, but a lot of times I like to have this one, and this one is a mixed color. So this is not a single pigment color. This is green gold. And the reason that I like to have it on my palette is one, it's just a really easy, like bright, fresh green to grab for things like highlights in landscapes and things. It mixes really well, and it's just got a really beautiful glow, and it's kind of hard to mix on its own. We're going to try to match it up tonight and see how we do down here when we get done with these original swatches. We'll do some color matching. But there's our green gold. It's very transparent, so it makes great glazes. And because of the, it's just not, I don't know why, it's just not a real easy color to match up. So this one's got, let me see, green. Oh my gosh, I cannot spell tonight. Grin. I was rushing to try to get my chart done, and I can tell I'm a little bit flustered still. Take a breath. Green. Gold. Okay, so this one has PY150, which is pigment yellow 150 PY. That's what the PY means. And this is nickel azo yellow, I believe. Yep, PY 150 right there. So it starts with that color, which is a super vibrant, but also kind of brownish toned, like golden yellow. And then it's got PG 36, which is the color right next to it. Phthalo green yellow shade. And then PY 175, which I think is like a, I don't know if I have that one. Can you look up PY 175 and see what that is? This one's benzimidazoline, PY 173. So I wonder if it's close to a benzimidazoline or a Hansa yellow, some sort of a bright lemony yellow.
It is also known as benzimidazoline
Okay.
yellow H6G.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a like a lemony yellow. So these two together plus phthalo green makes this green gold color. And again, because it's like 3 colors, it's really, I find it a little bit tricky to mix. So we're going to try to tackle that tonight and see if we can get it. But it's just a great color to have on your palette. I really like it. And I like the golden version the most. And I'll show you the difference in the, thank you, in the other brands here. I'll put some of the other green golds down. I have 2 other ones, I think. I have Matisse. Oh, Matisse is called yellow green, Australian yellow green. It's probably my second favorite, if we're going for favorites. And then there's Liquitex. Okay, so I'll put the other green golds down below. Let's keep going this way.
All right, so then, that Australian crowd there?
What?
Are you trying to get the Australian crowd?
I am. Well, we got to throw in the Matisse colors. Sometimes you can't find all these in other places. All right, so let's do the sap green hue. Write it in first. Anytime you see hue, that means that they have mixed up a synthetic version of it, of whatever the original hue is. So sap green hue, the original probably was either fugitive, like not light fast, or is hard to come by anymore, or something like that. There's probably some reason why they don't make it anymore. And they may still make it, but I'm just saying it's going to be, they've made a substitute here.
Your biggest fan has joined us.
Hi, Noah. PG36, which is our phthalo green yellow shade. Because you can see as we go along how often other colors, other colors that are pre-mixed greens use this original phthalo green mixture. It's just so powerful and it can do so many different things. It can mix so many different ways. So and then this one is red iron oxide. We're doing green. It's her favorite color, she said, right? I think she said green is her favorite color the other day when I was there. So that's Noah, my granddaughter. PBK 7, and then, oh, I didn't leave myself room. Okay, I'm gonna have to move this up. Well, I'm glad I wrote it before I did the thing. What are you laughing at?
It reminds me of like 2nd and 3rd grade when you're writing and then you run out of room and you start trailing the letters down and around to the side. And
yeah, exactly. Sap green hue. Okay, so PY 150, which is the same as in the green gold, right? That Nicolazzo yellow, that kind of brownish green or brownish yellow gold. PG 36, PR 101, which adds a brown tone to it. The red iron oxide, which is very similar to burnt sienna, which is a color that we usually have on our palette, and then carbon black, PBK 7. So anytime you add black and yellow, you're going to get an olive tone green. That's how we mixed this green here that we used on this one. This green was cadmium yellow light and carbon black. So just makes a nice olive tone. And this one will be a nice olive tone green. But the reason I don't use sap green that often, unless I want to use it just unaltered and not mix anything into it, is because it's got 4 colors in it already. And so those 4 colors are going to mix with whatever you're mixing with the sap green in sometimes unpredictable ways. And it's just easier I find, if you're wanting to mix a certain hue, to start with a color that is not already pre-mixed. And just start with a color that has a single pigment, and that way you kind of know what you're getting and you don't have now 4 plus, you know, 5, 6, 7, especially if you are mixing with a color that is already a pre-mixed color as well, that has other multiple pigments in it. All of those pigments together can do, you know, can be unpredictable and hard to control sometimes. Hard to get exactly what you're trying to mix. So there's our sap green hue. It's gorgeous, and on its own it's a great color to have, especially if you do a lot of landscapes and you want to just grab it and go, and you're not using it to mix other colors. But it's still good to have a phthalo green so that you can mix different greens. I wouldn't mix with this one, if that makes sense. You know, it's a great color to have, but maybe not to mix with. Okay, let me see. Then there's another sap green. This one is sap green permanent. I may not do all of my ones. Let me see if sap green is on here. Yeah, so the Liquitex is pretty close to the golden one here. I don't know if you can see the golden one is here next to it, just this little tiny strip. And then that's the Liquitex version. So I'm not going to swatch the Liquitex, but just know it's pretty darn close to that one. If we have time, we can swatch it, but I'm not going to waste the time doing it right now. And then there's a color. Let me see. Let's do Hooker's Green. Hooker's Green is another green that is used a lot with landscapes and things. It's kind of a classic color to grab. It is PG7 and PY 110. I'm not sure what those are.
Is it politically?
Isoindolone green. What?
Is it politically correct to call it that still?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sure.
It's. I think Hooker was the name of the guy that made it, not other things. Okay.
Okay.
So phthalo green. I think this is phthalo green blue shade, PG7. There's kids listening, honey. You gotta be careful what you're saying there.
I didn't say anything. I just asked if it was politically correct.
Okay.
You're the one that went somewhere with it.
All right.
Did you get PG7?
Why would you want to ask that then? Stop.
PG7 is
phthalo green blue shade.
Phthalocyanine green.
Yeah. Phthalo green blue shade here. So phthalo green blue shade and PY11, which I'm not sure what that is, but not offhand. It's going to be another really nice olive toned green. Good one to have. This one is a brand M Graham brand. I don't have it in golden. I probably need to buy it in golden. I don't know if they make the regular, though. I have it in a dark, I think. What I did with it. Really pretty, and you can see that kind of like more blue green undertone in this one. It's got much more of a foresty green color, like it's a little bit cooler in tone. Very pretty color. Again, that one I wouldn't be as hesitant to use just because it only has 2 colors, so it's not as multicolor as the sap green hue. But okay, so this is the one I was thinking, the Hooker's Green Deep Hue. So this is a Liquitex color, and this one is just taking that to the next level. And I guess I don't have a Hooker's Green in my golden. I'm not even sure if they make it. I have to look that up. And this one's really pretty. Look at how nice that is. It reminds me of Perylene green. If you ever do watercolor, Perylene watercolor has these greens And Pyrrole is a line of colors. They have violets and reds and maroons and greens using Pyrrole, and you don't see it in acrylics, which is interesting. I don't know why, but it's got a beautiful undertone in that gorgeous. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know if it's the same at all, but it is. So I'm going to put Liquitex down here, and then I'm going to put gram mg for that one. And the pigments are PBK 7. This one is Hooker's Green Deep. PBK 7, which is, I think, the burnt umber, right? Or no, that's carbon black. So it starts with black, and then PG7, which is the phthalo green blue shade, which is the same as this one. And then PY74, which is probably some sort of a... I really need to put the pigments on my master list. I don't have the pigments on that, and I really need to...
Arylandide yellow, or Hansa yellow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So, but all of the yellows, if we talked about this last time, but all of these yellows are pretty much interchangeable. All the Hansas and the cadmiums and the benzimidazolones and the aerolite or whatever, all of those are pretty much the same kind of bright lemony color, so can be used interchangeably. And probably the only reason they used it here instead of like a cadmium yellow light, which is on our palettes, is because it's cheaper. So that's probably why they used it in this mixture. But yeah, gorgeous, nice deep green. Another nice one to have in your palette. So like, you know, if I was gonna like only choose two, I'd probably get these two, because you can probably mix this one with these two. They're, you know, it's kind of in between. All right, and then there's another one called Jenkins Green. This one reminds me, and this may be the substitute for Hooker's Green in the golden line. I'm not really sure. Would you look up to see golden if they sell the Hooker's Green? Is there a reason why I don't have it, or I'm wondering if it's just because they don't make it. This one is a like a more kind of neutral medium green, like a true kind of just really nice, like plain middle of the road green.
It looks like they have it.
They have it? Okay. To order it.
It's on sale right now at Blick for $13.01.
Ooh. Okay, so there's Jenkins Green. Really nice green, and this one again is kind of a nice one if you don't want to deal with phthalo green's brightness and don't want to have to mute it every time you use it and just want a green that's going to be good straight out of the tube. Something like this is great to have. You know, having like a lighter mid-tone green like this, and then like a really deep dark green, or even just adding black to something like this could get you really far. So this one is golden. Whoops. I have a weird name. Again, probably just some person who came up with this color that is named after. I don't know how you get that gig. I'd like to have a color named after me. Kind of Angela's gray, or something. I don't know. There's a Jane's gray. Jane. Can't remember her name.
Angela's teal.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, this one has 3 colors. PBK 7. PBK 7, which is the phthalo, oh no, I'm sorry, PBK 9, which is bone black, not carbon black. So bone black's a little bit more brownish. Then Nicolazo yellow, PY 150, and then PG 36, which is our first color there, the phthalo green yellow shade. So you can get that by adding yellow, green, and black there. Or I would probably try using this and just add brown and maybe a little bit of yellow. And you probably could get something pretty close to that. But still a really, really pretty color. Okay, so this top row is probably like what I would consider your, you know, good safe bet colors to grab, colors that I would have in my palette for sure. And then we'll go and do some other, I don't think I'm going to do the other yellow gold, the green gold from Liquitex. The green gold from Liquitex is more brownish. So if you're interested in that, it's kind of got more of a yellow tone. This is the golden one here. This is the Liquitex version. So it's actually a really nice color if you like those kind of rusty gold colors. If we have room for it, we'll do it later, but I'm going to just go ahead and keep going here so that we have all of the unique colors on here at least, and then we'll come back around to it if we have time later. All right, so here's I really hate the Matisse caps. Sorry, Matisse, but your caps are really bad because they let air in and it's not good. And they kind of get gummed up at the top. Okay, so this is the Matisse Australian green, yellow green, Australian yellow green. And look how pretty that is. It's very similar to the green gold and golden, but it does have that kind of yellowish undertone that the Liquitex green gold has. So it's probably closer to the Liquitex green gold than this one from Golden. And this one has, let's put Matisse up here, M, green gold. No, I'm sorry. I keep saying the green gold. It's called Australian. I'll put AUS. Yellow green. Okay, so it's PY74. PY83 and PG7. So it's the phthalo green blue shade instead of the phthalo green yellow shade, and then 2 yellows. And I don't have them on my thing. Hansa Yellow Medium is PY73, so I'm guessing it's like a Hansa Yellow Medium or dark, Hansa Yellow Dark. And then PY83 might be a
PY83 is permanent yellow.
Permanent yellow, okay.
Diaryl yellow.
Diaryl, okay, that makes sense because it's kind of a goldish green there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to grab the, let me see. Okay, so this one is my favorite green from Liquitex. This was a color that I used a lot when I was painting, and I wish Golden had something equivalent. They don't. This one is, actually, I'm going to save that until I'm going to do all these light greens together. So let's go ahead and do the light green permanent, which is probably like a close mix to our phthalo green yellow shade. It's a pre-mixed color though, so it's not quite the same, but this one is one that you'll see in some of Liquitex's mixtures. They kind of include it, light green permanent, in some of their sets and things. I think it's in their set that has I can't remember what it's called, Brights, maybe, something like that. It's got a lot of like the light greens and light magenta and light purple and those mixtures, colors. Really pretty yellowish green. very basic, good to mix into, but not really strong for tinting strength. Like it's pretty weak as far as like mid-tone values wise. Like the phthalo green can go really dark when you mix into it with like a brown or something. This one would probably lose some of its greenness when you did that because it's just a little bit weaker, seems like. So the colors in this one are PG7, which is the phthalo green blue shade, PG7, and PY97, and PW6, which does not surprise me at all. That's white. So that's why it's so light. If I could just write without. There we go. Okay. And that one probably could have gone with these other ones too, but just kind of a good one to compare to the phthalo green yellow shade. Again, we haven't gotten anything near this bright of a green. Just not really going to find it. There's not another substitute for phthalos. They're just that important. And if they ever discontinue phthalos, I mean, I don't know what we would do as artists because we use, I mean, the blues and the greens are so important. All right, let's go ahead and use this one, Green Deep Permanent. And then we'll use the Chromium Oxide green. So this one is kind of a green, another permanent green. Let me use the cap so I'm not dipping my brush into the thing, but this is another, probably got some phthalo in here, I'm guessing. If I had to guess, I'd say phthalo green blue shade and gosh,
which number?
It doesn't say. Oh, I haven't looked it up yet. This is, I'm just going by what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
This might just be phthalo green blue shade. That's what I would guess. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know that it has anything mixed into it. It says it does. So maybe it's got a phthalo blue instead and with a yellow. Who knows? So it starts with phthalo green blue shade, PG7. It has white. Oh, okay. PW6. And then PY97. So it's got some yellow in it, which isn't, I can't read that. I'm not sure what that says. All right. So that one is Green Deep. Okay. Liquitex. So this would be a green that they make because probably these pigments are cheaper than phthalo, potentially, is what I'm guessing. So it's a little bit cheaper to make this than the, like, well, I mean, it's maybe a little richer than, it's definitely probably in between the phthalo green yellow shade and the phthalo blue green shade. Like, now that it's drying, I can see that it's not as teal as I was thinking it was. There's the phthalo green blue shade. So definitely more kind of like this one mixed with this one in tone. It's a pretty color though. But I wouldn't use it as a mixing color because it's got 3 pigments in it. And you're just not going to get predictable results with it. I wish I'd known that when I bought these colors when I was first starting out as an artist, because it probably would save me a lot of frustration trying to color mix. You know, I wish I'd known that just using phthalo green alone was going to be easier than trying to mix colors with these pre-mixed colors. Okay, this one is called Chromium Oxide Green. These greens are really pretty. They have this is a natural pigment color, so it should be a single pigment color. Yep. And they just have this natural earthiness. Kind of almost like if you mixed some white with your hooker's green here above it. Right? It's like it's got a chalkiness to it. Really pretty color though. And the pigment is PG17. This is another Liquitex color. Chromium Oxide Green. I cannot write tonight. I'm sorry. If you're trying to read this later, I apologize. My writing is not great. Plus, I can't see what I'm doing. That's probably part of the problem. I can read it okay, but when I go to write or paint, it's like it kind of just goes, it's like a little blurry still. I'm still having issues with that, so we're doing the best we can here. Okay, so this is a color called Chromium Oxide Dark Green. Chromium Oxide Green Dark. And so it's the same. Not sure if they've just processed it different to make it darker or if they've added something to the chromium green. We'll find out. Okay. It's very like kind of soupy. Like you can see it's like not wanting to lay, it's like streaky. Kind of reminds me of India yellow. Really transparent colors do this. They just don't want to lay solid without having lines through them. Which this one is kind of an opaque color, so it surprised me that it's doing that. But okay, so this one's golden. This one's chromium. I'm just going to do it chrome oxide green dark DK. It's PG17. Yeah, so it's just the same pigment but just processed darker for some reason. Okay, and then this one is the sap green from the Charvin. You can see it's pretty different. It's got the PG instead of PG36. So instead of the yellow shade, they're starting with the blue shade of phthalo green. So it's making it closer to this hooker's green dark, or the hooker's green. It looks more like hooker's green to me, or hooker's green, kind of in between these two. Okay, so I'm not going to swatch these unless we have time later. So I'm just going to set it up here on my maybe swatching later pile up there. All right, so this one is one that I just got. It's called Shadow Green. I thought it was a really cool color, cool looking color. And it's a single pigment. So it's PBK 31, which I'm not sure what that is. PBK 31, which would be a black. So it's a greenish black. I have no idea. I don't know if it says the pigment. It doesn't say the pigment name. It just says PBK 31. Mark might be able to look it up for us.
It is commonly called perylene green.
Perylene.
Perylene black.
I was just talking about Perylene
You
green.
were.
Here we go. So you can see how close it is to that Hooker's Green Deep up there. That's exciting that they used Perylene. I don't know why they didn't call it Perylene. I guess shadow green sounds more cool. Whew, look at how pretty that is. So this is definitely one that I would have on my palette for sure, especially if I was doing a lot of landscapes, because look how cool that is. Just having such a deep green straight out of the tube like this. Come on. Plus it's going to mix really well because it's a single pigment color. This one's got more blue in it than the Hooker's Green Deep from Liquitex, but that is gorgeous. Gorgeous color. So I, like this one plus these two, and then you could mix these into those. Like I think I want to try mixing these with the other two and see what kind of colors you get. I mean, obviously you can just have black and use that, but I mean, yeah, that's really pretty. Okay. Can you tell I get excited about colors? It's so stupid how much excitement I have about stupid colors.
You're getting a little excited over
Just
there.
settle down. Settle down. Okay. Okay. So there's green gold from Charvin. Green gold with the Charvin, they add black to it, which is kind of an interesting thing. So it makes it much more like earthy green, kind of more of a khaki green undertone. So we might put that one out because that one's really different later as well. So we'll see. All right. So this next one is part of the muted colors line from, actually, let's do it. This is the Liquitex Muted Green. And these are really fun. This is a fun series. I bought the whole pack of them when they first came out. And I was going to do a painting with them. And then I just kind of didn't, it's kind of one of those ones. This looks so much like that one. I wonder if it's the same pigment. Doesn't it look the same? I don't know. We'll see. Oh, no, but when you add water, look at that. Oh, my goodness. That's Phthalo Green Blue shade for sure. For sure. I mean, come on. And then it's probably got some maybe black in there. Who knows? I don't know. Muted green. So this one's Liquitex. And the fun of it for me is just figuring out what's in them before you even. Maybe some blue in there because it's awfully blue, isn't it? It's awfully teal. It almost could go with our teals when we did our teals. Ooh, so it's got 3 pigments. So it's starting out with the violet. PV23, PY74, so there's a yellow. Which was, what did we say that was? That was like a areolide yellow or something. Like a bright PY74. And then PB153. See, I knew it was Phthalo blue. It was too blue green to be just Phthalo green blue shade.
Yeah, that's areolide.
Yeah,
yellow.
Areolide yellow. So it's got just a touch of yellow to turn it green, but it's got that violet, and so they start with a purple, and they add yellow to it.
Violet.
Yeah, that's interesting. So PV23, I can't remember what that pigment was, but we can look at our chart here. PV23 was Dioxazine Purple right there. So it's Dioxazine Purple and Phthalo Blue green shade. Or no?
PV23 is Dioxazine Violet. Purple, yeah.
Yeah.
Which one?
PB153. So the green shade is the 15-4. And I feel like, it's just primary blue. So it's called primary blue. So it's the violet, primary blue, and then like a bright lemony yellow.
Blue.
Mm-hmm.
PB153 is Phthalocyanine blue.
Right. Yeah. Just phthalo blue without a leaning one way or another. Not red and not.
There's lots of names that it goes by.
I know. Yeah.
Cerulean blue, brilliant blue, blue lake.
Well, but it's also got like
Yeah.
If you change the colon, the number after the
right. No, I'm looking at this table that shows
it.
all these other marketing names it goes by.
Okay.
Common marketing names.
Marketing names.
Yep.
All right, let's do our Titan Green Pale. This one's a beautiful green that they added a couple of years ago. Golden added to their lineup. They came out with a bunch of muted colors, and they all, were like Mars, I think Titan Mars Violet and Mars Light Orange, Phthalo, Light Phthalo Green. All of them came out at the same time. All these light colors. Which, if you're an artist that likes to work on site, well, like when I did murals and things, nobody's got time for mixing colors when you're doing a mural. You are, just working. And you want to be able to grab your colors straight out of the tube. So having a color like this, it's pre-mixed, it's already beautiful muted color, is really nice. Really nice. Of course, I wouldn't use these colors on a mural because they're too expensive, but you get the idea. I would have like the, Liquitex Basics and things. They had a lot of pre-mixed colors. All right, so this one is Titan Green Pale. And oh my goodness, it's four pigments. All right, so I'm gonna squeeze them in there. PW6 white, obviously. PY74, no, PY42, sorry. Yellow Oxide. Raw Umber, PBR7, which is also the same pigment in Burnt Umber and Burnt Sienna and Raw Umber, so it gets confusing because all three of those are the same pigment. And then PG7, which is our Phthalo Green Blue shade. So it's got that yellow oxide and that raw umber really toning it down to this really muted color. And then the Phthalo Green Blue shade adding a little pop of vibrancy in it. Really pretty color.
So it seems like they have a common pigment color into them.
Oh,
it
yeah,
sounds like you're saying
sure.
the same one over.
Yeah, all
PG7.
of these are using phthalos. That's what I was saying. If they ever got rid of phthalo, you'd be hard,
I mean, PG7
they wouldn't be able to make any of these.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right. Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
8.
Either Phthalo Green Yellow shade or Phthalo Green Blue shade is in all of these except for the Shadow Green, and the Chromium Greens. These ones are single pigments of a different kind. All the rest of these are using Phthalo Green Blue shade or Phthalo Green Yellow shade, or Phthalo Blue. Yeah, that's it. They're so, that's why I always have a phthalo in my palette either. And I tend to like the green shade because I use Phthalo Blue green shade in my, as a thing. So if I had Phthalo Green Blue shade, it's too close to Phthalo Blue. Like I wanted a little bit farther apart on the color wheel. So that's why I chose the Phthalo Green Yellow shade so that I can mix it with Phthalo Blue and get Phthalo Green Blue shade. Or go the other way and mix up green gold and things like that with it. All right. Keep going. Okay, so here's the one that I teased before. That is my color that I really, really loved and I used a lot when I was doing murals and things and just painting in general. Not before YouTube. And before I learned a whole lot about mixing colors. This is the color that I absolutely loved because it was so pretty. And it was so, I don't know, it just always looked good, no matter what I put it with. It's just this really light, springy yellow green, not as intense as green gold. So it's just got a really nice, like soft undertone, almost yellow, really pale. Let me try to get it darker here because it can go a little bit darker. Yeah, there we go. Get it a little bit darker over here. Look at how pretty that color is, though. So pretty. It is Brilliant Yellow Green. And it is got 4 colors, PG7. So starting out hard, good with Phthalo Green Blue shade, white, PW6, PY3, which is some sort of yellow, and PY97, another yellow, which does not surprise me at all. So 2 yellows.
Hands of yellow.
Hands of yellow.
What's the other one?
PY97. So it's interesting to me that they start out with the phthalo green blue shade. Aerialide. Okay. Dairylight. Oh, okay. So that gives it that kind of earthy tone. Okay. So that makes sense. So it would be like as if we used Indian yellow and cadmium yellow light with our phthalo green blue shade if you had it. And that probably the tealness of the blue with the yellow, that probably creates that kind of more muted green. It's not so super bright. I'll show you the golden versions of this color that just don't quite get it. It's not the same. Golden has 2 colors that try to do what this one does, and neither one of them hit the mark for me. I just didn't like them as well. Sorry, Golden. But this one is light green yellow shade, and then there's light green blue shade. And neither one are it at all. But I mean, they're fine. I should say that. I mean, they're just not what I liked. I didn't like them. They weren't this. I was used to using this one, and I switched to Golden, and I just didn't find these to be nearly as pretty. Which is pretty close. I mean, to be fair, it's a very subtle difference. I think the difference is more in the mass tone. This mass tone is much more blue. Even though it's the yellow shade, it's not nearly as yellow as this one. It doesn't have that muted quality to it. Okay, so this one's golden, light green, yellow shade, whiteness. Okay, so it's starting out with PG7 and PY3, same colors, and PW6. So it's same as this one. It's missing the PY97, so it's missing that Dairy-Light yellow that makes it that kind of earthy green, right? That's why it's staying this vibrant, kind of more, I don't know, just not as pretty green to me. And this one reminds me of green gold a little bit more. Like it would be like if you probably could get something like this by mixing these 2 together. And in fact, green gold has most of these colors, you know, in it. There's something similar, at least. Similar colors in it, not the same ones. Okay, so this one is light green blue shade. Again, just not quite there for me. It was just a color that I was like, I didn't have any place where I would use it. Like I could use this straight into a landscape and looked great because it had that kind of more muted quality. It was really good to use. These 2 are just too bright. They're like circus colors, and they didn't mute them enough to make them usable to me, you know, in like practical usage for like a landscape painting. They're just still too too much for a mixed color. I want a mixed color to be usable straight out of the tube without having to do anything to it. And these are not it. They're just too bright. Too, I don't know. I mean, I can add white to Phthalo and get this pretty easily. Light green, blue shade, BS. This is golden, and then this is PY3 yellow, PG7, so Phthalo green blue shade does not surprise me, and then PW6. So same as this one, only a little bit more a little bit more yellow, it's saying. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But basically almost the same exact color. And neither one quite as pretty as that one. Sorry, golden. It's just me, my 2 cents. All right. Let's keep going. Did I like them? No, I did not. Well, I was, like I said, I was trying to go from Liquitex to golden and replace all my colors that were my favorite colors, and golden didn't have this one. This was the only one. Hit. Huh?
It just didn't hit.
Nope. Just didn't do it. And then here's another version of a Liquitex color that is better than these two. It's like a little bit darker version of the yellow green.
So it's kind of the Pepsi of light greens.
Exactly.
You had Coke.
Exactly. This is Coke. It's not the same. Just not.
I'll probably get hate mail.
And we're like, but we have Pepsi. No, thank you. Vivid lime green. This was another one that I used quite a bit. These ones were kind of almost interchangeable, and you can see that this one is actually, like if you add a little white to this one, or a little bit more yellow, you get almost the same exact color. Very pretty undertones. And so this one is Aria Light Yellow, PY97, PG7, Phthalo Green Yellow shade. Why did I put a G there? I don't know. P, G7, and then white. PW6. Okay. I'm trying to go fast here. I know you guys are just watching me put out colors and stuff here. Sorry, but we're almost done. And then we can start mixing and playing with them. I'm going to put back all the ones that we've already done. I think I'm going to use that shadow green in my palette and see if I don't want to start using it more and more, you know. It's so pretty. Okay. And then the other ones here are, like I said, are ones that we've already kind of got down. They're just different versions of them, so I'm not gonna waste the time doing them. I don't even know if I want to do these. I guess I will. This one's actually kind of a pretty unique color here. Green of Provence from Charvin. Charvin's just a French brand that I bought a bunch of them because they had a really pretty pre-mixed tones, and I thought it'd be nice to have some pre-mixed colors that you could just use straight out of the tube, kind of like I was saying for murals and things like that. Maybe just using with the grandkids for projects, you know, so I didn't have to stop and mix colors. We could just use them straight out of the tube. PY74 and PB29. So that's Ultramarine Blue, which is one of the blues that I use when I'm mixing a green that I want to be earthy, straight out the, you know, like using Ultramarine Blue instead of Phthalo Blue gives you a much more natural looking green. And you can see with this one, it'll be much more kind of olive toned right out of the tube. It's got white in it, so it's got that mutedness, but look at how pretty that like yellowish undertone from the Arylite yellow. There. Okay, so that's a nice color like that. I could see that being one that, you know, I could use pretty easily straight out of the tube. But if you look at it with the green gold, you can get something very similar just by adding a tiny touch of this. So having the green gold there is still one that I would pick before I'd grab this one. But it sure is pretty. It's a nice color. And, you know, if you're looking for like pre-mixed colors, that one would be definitely one that I would lean towards. Oops, shoot, dropped it. It's all right. All right, then this next one is one of the really nice ones. It probably would go up here with these super vibrant greens that we just did. It's called Anise Green, and it is another Charvin color. And it's PY 111, which I'm not sure what yellow that is, and PG7, Phthalo Green Blue shade, and some sort of a yellow. But it is super vibrant. So the PY 111 makes me think that it might be, because it's so vibrant, makes me think it might be like a, almost like a fluorescent yellow.
Get your bets in. And the betting window is closed. And it's Hansa Brilliant Yellow.
Brilliant Yellow, yeah. So it's some sort of a fluorescent type of yellow. Does it say what the light fastness is on it? Hanzas are usually good, though. So
it's described as a greenish yellow. Let's see here. Color description, opacity, light fastness.
No, it says it's good right here. It's 3 stars. Light fastness. Go ahead.
That's okay. I lost my place.
Oh, okay.
No, you're fine.
Sorry.
The table is helpful, but it doesn't have the header at the top. It's a 3, so it's towards the not very light fast.
Not very? Oh.
1 is the best.
4
is
okay.
The worst.
Okay. I didn't know that. I thought 3 was better. Okay.
4 is fugitive.
Got it. So yeah, that's excellent. What makes that. Anytime it's kind of glowy like that, it kind of sus to me, because then I'm like, yeah, you're probably not going to stay that bright eventually. You know, eventually it's going to dull. It's like a cheat. I don't use them a lot because of that. Because if they get in the light, then they're going to turn dull pretty quick. PW6, PY 111. So this has got the same yellow, and then PG7. So it's this anise green plus white is what this one is, the absinthe green. It's pretty, though, and it's probably the closest to that yellow that I liked, or pretty close to it. Maybe I wonder if this is close to Phthalo green light. No, I think the Phthalo green light is actually more of the blue shade green. It's a gorgeous little color, though, isn't it? So pretty. Okay. I hate it when the cap gets the paint squeezed up in it too much, and then it comes out, and I can't close it without it getting all up in it. So next time I open it, it's gonna be hard. No, it's fine. It's too wet right now. Okay, so there's our greens.
So what was our last green again?
Absinthe green.
Absinthe green. Got it.
Absinthe. Yep. That one's also a Charbon color. So
Okay, so since
let's
you
go ahead and put in the green gold of the Liquitex, because that's kind of one that would probably use. I'll go ahead and kind of fill out this last little bit here. Whoop, go ahead.
Okay, because we had a question about greens out of the tube.
Okay.
And the question is,
aside from mixing greens, what would be your top dark, medium, and light green to have from the tube on hand? Ooh. Okay, so are you meaning like pre-mixed colors that are already ready to go?
Squeeze out of the tube.
Right. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, because okay, let me think. Let me think on this. So I'd probably definitely do shadow green for the dark green because it's already a single pigment color. So that would be the one that I would do. And then I would probably do like the, I like having a yellowish green. This one's actually really pretty, but I wouldn't use that one because it's got the, I'd probably choose something, gosh, see, it just, you kind of need all of them. Because you need a yellowish one, because sometimes when you have sunlight, like the light green one, I would choose a yellowish tone one. So I'm going to say this. I'm just going to like kind of hedge my bets. I would choose one of these yellowish tones for my light color. It doesn't matter which one, but I would choose a light green, even the green gold, for my light tone, lightest one. Then I would choose like a shadow green or a hooker's green probably for my dark one. I'd want a cooler tone, even the hooker's green deep. One of these, maybe even chromium oxide dark, more blue leaning dark green for my darkest tone. And then for my mid-tone, I would probably go something like, I don't think I would do this one because it's too vibrant, like it wouldn't look good like straight out of the tube. So I'd probably go with like the Jenkins green or something like that that's still got like a little bit of a it's got a little bit of yellow in it. At that one and this one and like this one, these three on the end here would probably get you pretty far. If you wanted a little bit brighter green so that you could mix into it, then something like the green deep permanent probably would do well. Or even the sap green with the shadow green and this one. But see, then you've got these three would be very yellow leaning. All three of these are yellow leaning. And you kind of almost need one of these that is a little bit more on the blue side. So you could maybe grab a color off of our teal.
Corrine, who asked a question, says, no wonder why I was struggling with green. Because you're like doing the Spanish Inquisition.
I know, it's hard.
My three favorite greens are Hooker's green, shadow green, and phthalo green. And green deep. Okay, wait, my four favorite greens are in no particular order.
Well, that's it. If not mixing them straight from the tube, it's just almost impossible to me to get there. Okay, so this Liquitex one is PY 129. So it is a single pigment green gold. Interesting. So that is really, really interesting. I'm glad I put this one out there. That's important to know, to notice. Like that's the actual green gold pigment, right? And then everything else is kind of mixed from that. But that is it light fast? NR. So I don't know what that means. NR. Light fast. Yeah. I bet it's not. I bet that's why they mix it. It's probably not super light fast. Not rated. I think that's what that NR means. Not rated, I bet.
You are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Ding ding. Oh wait, I gotta
Ding,
find
ding,
my
ding.
I gotta find my bell. My bell sound. I got a air horn. No. Chimes. No.
Oops.
Rim shot. No. Small robots. No.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one. That would be usually when I did murals and stuff, I would bring a phthalo green. So I would, you know, even though I wasn't using it straight out of the tube, it was always good to have one. And then I would have like a sap green or something like that. So I did use sap green a lot because sap green can be changed pretty easily. It's a good like middle of the road green, and using it with a little bit of white, you get kind of more of a muted color. So this is the Liquitex Sap Green Permanent. And it's pretty similar to the the golden one. I cannot say my words. Sap Green Hue. Okay, I already put Hue. Okay. Just making sure I put Hue there. This one has PY 139. Not sure what that pigment is. PY 139. PB 15.3. So that's the Phthalo Blue. And PBK 11, which I think was Bone Black, right?
I don't know. I'm looking at the PY 139. Y'all got some funky names. Is Isoindoline yellow?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
It's also can go by the name Indian Yellow Hue.
What is Indian yellow? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so Indian yellow plus
Hue. Indian Yellow Hue.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Plus phthalo blue and black, which that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to do the Charbon colors, I don't think. That's not as common a brand, I don't think. People aren't using it as often. All right, let's go ahead and mix up. Try to mix and match some stuff here. So let me get out my black and my burnt umber. Let's put out my yellow oxide too, because that's a good yellow mixing or green mixing yellow. Because it's already neutral, so it gives you more natural earthy yellows or greens. I mean, can't say my words. Here's the yellow, India yellow. So this is, I'm going to put out the colors that I normally have on my palette. That's what we're going to mix with and see if we can get these colors with the colors that we normally mix with. And also going to show you some of my favorite greens that I like to mix. I'm going to put out a little bit of purple. And if you saw our purple thing, you probably already know this one, so I won't give it away yet, but go ahead and put out Quinacridone Magenta. Some Cadmium Red Light. I probably should put that in between. That's okay. bit up there. Not sure if I'm going to need that one, so I'll just put a little bit of it. And then the Ultramarine Blue and the Phthalo Blue. And now those, with these colors, we can mix pretty much any green that we want. Find my Phthalo green. Where are you? I put out my green gold too. This is the palette that I usually do for pretty much any painting. The only one that's missing is like Cobalt Teal. Sometimes I put that out as a convenience color, even though I can mix it with Phthalo Blue and some yellow, or Phthalo Blue and Phthalo Green and yellow and white. So I'm not going to put it out tonight because we're just going to work on our own greens. And whoops, didn't mean to put that much out. How are we doing on time? Okay, so we got through those. Hurry through the mixing part though. Okay, and again, green gold is kind of one of those optional colors that don't have to have, but it sure is nice to have. It's like handy. Okay, so let's start out with how I would darken up Phthalo Green if I want it darker. So I've got Phthalo Green, I've got a painting that I'm doing, and I want a dark green. I use Phthalo Green, yellow shade. Oh, that's kind of gummy. And usually my go-to is Burnt Umber because it's dark. It's going to darken it up, but it's not going to change the quality of the green. It's going to stay kind of a yellowish green tone. It's just going to be a darker, muted version of itself. So here's the Phthalo Green with a little bit of Burnt Umber in it. You can see how pretty that color is. Reminds me of that Green Deep Permanent. It's going to be pretty close to that color. There we go. So that one is Phthalo Green, yellow, and Burnt Umber BU. So that's one of the basic colors, and if I need it more muted than that, I just add more brown. So if I don't want it that vibrant, I just add more brown to it. One of the other greens that I like to use, and we did this when we did our purple, I think, is use Phthalo Green yellow shade. I don't know why that turned out so gummy right there. It's like the last little bit of the tube there turned all gummy. And purple, Dioxazine Purple. These two together create a dark, rich green that's very similar to like our Hooker's Green Deep or Shadow Green, but it's got like a really pretty purplish undertone, like bluish undertone because of that purple in it. It's a really pretty rich color. It's actually probably very close to muted green up here. Really good color to have, especially for things like, you know, I've used it like on a waterfall, like in the deepest, darkest part of the waterfall, or like in a, you know, thicket of dark bushes and things where everything around it is dark. And this kind of purplish undertone just kind of glows out through it. If I added more of the purple, it would be closer to the muted green. But that is one of the easiest ways to mute or darken up a green, but have it just be a really beautiful, like, undertone. Dioxazine Purple. Okay, really fun color. All right, let's try to get a shadow green. I'm guessing that it's just going to be like carbon black with this. Let's see how close we can get it to our shadow green color. Just a little bit of black with the phthalo green. Okay, so this is a pretty color. This is probably closer to like Hooker's green or one of those. So this is, let's go ahead and use this on our thing here because it's good to have as a reference. So this is with black, and this is really nice. Like, I don't tend to like to use black as my darkening agent, if you will, but because black has blue in it, mixing it with this green is actually, like, there's only a few colors that I mix black with, red being one, and then green would be another one that it actually looks good with. It doesn't dull the color too much, adding black. So PG yellow and carbon black CB. Just put the okay so I know. But you can see all three of those very similar, but they all, you know, have their own kind of undertone and feel. So if I wanted to get closer to Hooker's green, I would just take it and add probably a little bit of blue, get it like to a shadow green, say. Let me think. I might even just add a little bit of this purple and see what it does. So let's add the purple to that with the black. That's awfully close, probably. Maybe a little bit more muted. And that's really pretty though. I'll go ahead and put that in here as a reference. So that's these two mixed together. I think if I just add some burnt umber to it, it's gonna mute it down. I'm gonna mix that in with what's here on the, oh shoot. And these pages just don't come clean. Okay, we'll have to clean those off later. Okay, so this is these two plus brown. I wanted to add burnt umber to it to get that undertone. Getting messy here. Slow down. There we go. Let me see if I can lift any of this off. We got a little bit of it off. So you can see it's a little bit closer to that Hooker's green with that brown added. So I wanted to add that brown just to kind of get, so it's PG Y plus DP plus CB plus BU. What BU? Okay. So, and I think to get more of the Hooker's green deep color, we might need a little bit more brown, just to have a little bit more. All right, so let's try to mix up green gold. This is where I was saying that it's hard to mix up green gold. So if you don't have green gold and you want to mix something similar, start with a lot of the yellow, India yellow, add a little bit of a light lemony yellow, but I still need more of that. So mostly the kind of earthy golden yellow, a little bit of a lemony yellow, and then just a tiniest little bit of the phthalo green. And you can get a green gold, pretty similar. It's not like this green gold. Obviously, the Liquitex one is much more brownish. But we got it pretty close to that golden green gold there. And man, when I was first trying to mix green gold, the mistake that I was making is I was starting with too much of the phthalo green. You need just the tiniest little bit. So then when it's India yellow, cadmium yellow light, and phthalo green yellow shade. Okay, so that's our green gold dupe. It's not that hard. It's just hard-ish, you know, like to get consistent results, because just the tiniest bit more of the phthalo green and you go really much more green leaning. Okay, so let's find our phthalo green complement, or like the complement for green would be like a red. So I'll mix up my magenta and my cadmium red light to make kind of a something similar to like a cadmium red medium. I want it to be a little bit more on the magenta side, just because the cadmium yellow light has, or cadmium yellow, not cadmium, I'm sorry, because my phthalo green, I don't know why I'm saying cadmium yellow at all. Phthalo green yellow shade is so yellow. I don't want to use too much of that already warm. I want to go more cool on my red. So I'm going to mix in my phthalo green to this. And I should get like a black gray color. Brown. Add a little bit more green. There we go. So here we go. We've got this one is actually pretty close to this one that we did. This also shows how using complementary colors can be pretty equivalent to using blacks and neutrals when you're changing the tone of a color, changing the hue of a color, mixing to a color. All right, so there's more than one way to get there. You can mix with the complementary of it, or you can mix with a black, brown, earthy mixture. So that's phthalo green yellow shade plus Quin Magenta and a little bit of cadmium red light. And that gets us to a color that's almost identical to this one. So let's try to get more of a hooker's green color. So I was going for a sap green permanent or sap green or something like that. Instead of using phthalo green at all, I'm going to start with blue. And I can get there with green, and we'll go ahead and show you that. So if I'm using phthalo green to get to a sap green, I need to neutralize the brightness of it to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a yellow oxide color, and then to take it down even more, I'm going to mix in some burnt umber. And then it's gone to too much brown, like I've gone too far into the browns. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit more of that phthalo green. It's not going to take much to get it more bright again. And there we have kind of a olive toned green using the phthalo green. Phthalo green and yellow oxide and burnt umber. You can also use burnt sienna. I don't have burnt sienna out, but burnt sienna also will help mix with this. And so that one is pretty close to like a sap green hue. It may lack like a little bit of life, so might add just a little bit of yellow to bring it back up to a brighter color. But so that's phthalo green, yellow shade plus burnt umber and yellow oxide, YO. All right. So let me show you using ultramarine blue. This is the way I like to mix my greens, my olive tone greens. It's just a really, really pretty color and usually gives me pretty good results. So anytime mixing with ultramarine blue instead of phthalo blue, and I'll show you phthalo blue mixed with green here in a minute, you're going to get a more lively and neutral looking green. So it's going to be more olive toned right off the bat. Just a little bit more neutral than using the phthalo. It's very similar to like a chromium, that mid-tone green. Isn't that pretty? It's a really lovely, very very natural looking green. Like it just looks good in your landscapes. So it already looks like a, like a plant color. So that's ultramarine blue and cadmium yellow light. That's all that is. So to get it closer to like a sap green color, I would probably add more of the golden tone yellow. So I'm going to use, instead of the cadmium yellow light, I'm going to use India yellow and add a little bit of that burnt umber. Or I'm sorry, ultramarine blue, not burnt umber, ultramarine blue. And then that's going to give me more of a greenish gold color. It's got a little bit more life to it than this one. It's closer to my sap green up here, I think. Cover over that boo-boo from earlier. But you can see kind of how, I don't know if you can tell, but how this one looks kind of dull and this one has much more vibrancy. Even though they're very similar toned greens, there's the sap green, and that's just that ultramarine blue with the India yellow hue versus the cadmium yellow light here. That India yellow hue just gives it a little bit more life. And it's got more of that gold undertone. This one is more of a blue undertone here with the cadmium yellow light. And that may be, maybe if I added more cadmium yellow light to that, it would go a little bit more yellow toned. But I have more blue in this one, the mixture probably, than this one. Okay. So this one is UB. That's India yellow. How are you doing, hon? Kind of quiet tonight over there.
I'm doing good.
I'm just pushing through here. Got so many to do.
I know. Plus you got your mystery art vault open too.
I know.
So time for that.
Yeah.
Got my reminder over here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think I'm going to use this white to kind of clean up my mess here. So let's go ahead and mix up white with our green here. Let's mix it with our phthalo green yellow shade. And put that down. Look at that pretty color. This is a color that is pretty similar, I think, to the one that Golden sells in the tube. Phthalo green light there. I think it's probably the yellow shade that they use in it. It looks like it's just phthalo green yellow shade plus white. So matched up to it. There, PG yellow plus titanium white. And so if I wanted to make like a brilliant yellow here, I would use the same mixture and then just add, and I'm going to add the India Yellow Hue instead of the Cadmium Yellow Light because it's going to have more of a rich golden undertone. Okay. I might add just a little bit of the Cadmium Yellow Light to brighten it up a little bit. Okay, we're pretty close. I don't know that I got it as vibrant. I did not, I can tell here. It's not as vibrant. So let's try phthalo green with cadmium yellow light there. And some white. See how blue it is. That's where you need that cadmium, that India yellow hue to take it from blue down to more of a gold tone. And then more of the white mixed in. And I think it just needs more yellow and in general. There we go. That's closer to it. More yellow. Yeah, okay, let's try that. Almost the same. Okay, so I didn't quite get it there. I don't think it's not vibrant enough. I think it needs more yellow. It's pretty. It's more muted than I want it to be. Maybe too much white. Peachy yellow plus titanium white plus Indian yellow plus cadmium yellow light. Okay, so let's try again. Maybe start with like our green gold mixture. So let's go ahead and go with our cadmium yellow light or our India yellow, a little bit of cadmium yellow light, and just the tiniest bit of phthalo green. I added too much. See, I went too gold there. Maybe, do we want to add a blue? That one started with phthalo green blue shade, so maybe we need a little bit of like a phthalo blue to make it more blue. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it just needed blue. That definitely is more yellow. It's definitely a different tone. It's still not quite yellow enough, I don't think. We add a little bit more cadmium yellow. Just not getting it quite that vibrant, am I? So maybe we need to try with don't know. I mean, it's closer. Still not nearly as neon yellow as those other ones. think maybe I'm not adding enough yellow. So this one is PG yellow, and then PB green, and then white, and then Cadmium Yellow Light, and then Indian Yellow. There's so many colors in here. I still can't quite get it there. Isn't that funny? All right, so in a perfect world, if I had green gold on my palette, which I do, that's probably where I would start from, and then add the phthalo green to that to try to get something bright, because it's already got all those bright colors in it, and then a little bit of white. This is going to be very close to that color, that vivid lime green. Let me go ahead and just put it out there because it's definitely closer to what we were trying to shoot for there. There we go. And that's why that green gold, having that green gold is so helpful, because you could just grab it and mix it in and it does this, you know. Instead of having to add all these yellows and get the yellows just right, you already have the right kind of mixture to go for, to go for it. So phthalo green, yellow shade plus green gold plus white, and just a tiny bit of white is all it needed. And then if I add more white, I'm going to get that color. So we're there. All right. So I think I'm going to stop there for tonight, because I think we've got enough greens. We'll go ahead and mix a few more this week as we go along. We've already talked about the complement of the phthalo green there. Oh, we didn't fill out our chart. Shoot. And I'm going to have an open space now. I might just go ahead and fill in both of the spots for green on here that I have. So let me do that. So here's green gold, would be right here. And a yellow green, really any yellow green. But, and then go for phthalo green, yellow shade on this spot here. It's just so quiet over there, honey. Are you awake?
I'm awake. Not much to say during the swatching.
I know.
But people are enjoying it.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, you got some people who have the same mind as you do that get excited about mixing colors.
Good. Good.
They're a little sus, but, we like them.
What? The ones that like mixing colors are sus? Wow. Okay. Solidarity. You can see as we add this in here, it's almost yellow. You can't almost tell that it's green at all with the white added. And then, oh, do I have any of this left? I do. A little bit of it. Adding to the white. There's our white version here. And then phthalo green with the green gold with the black. Oh, I didn't show. Let me show one more green here. Well, you can see it right next to it. This green gold with black is almost identical to the yellow with the black. So it makes yellow with black makes this color, this dark green. So That is, I talked about that too when I, on Thursday, you know, when we mixed our painting and mixed our palette, trying to match the color. One of the colors that we had to match to was a olive toned green, and so I just added black and yellow, and it matched it up perfectly. Okay, there we go. We're almost done. It's crazy. But all of those blacks there, especially leaning in this area, are all got the green, got the olive tone to them. So let's go ahead and mix up a green. If I was wanting an olive tone green, I'm going to use Cadmium Yellow Light and black. Depending on how much black I use, I can make it darker. I want it really olive toned and really deep. And then the more yellow I use, the little bit brighter. I think the one that I did, I added a little bit more yellow. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more yellow to it on this end here. You can see, you can get a little bit more vibrant with it. I lost all my transparency there. I just sucked it right into that page. I got no light color at all. Let me see if I can get any of that off. There we go. So there we go. So that's Cadmium Yellow Light and Carbon Black. Again, all of these tones are very similar, you know, but just little slight subtle differences. This one using Ultramarine Blue, this one using Phthalo Green, and this one using yellow and black. So this Phthalo Green and Burnt Umber, and Yellow Oxide, Ultramarine Blue, and Cadmium Yellow Light, and then Cadmium Yellow Light and Carbon Black for this one. So you could see, so you could take this Ultramarine Blue one and make it deeper with a little bit of black if you wanted to add to it, or a little bit of brown. Either way, you know, kind of muddies it a little bit, makes it a little bit more earthy. So, all right, yeah, let's do our color chart, or our sorry, not color chart. Yeah, our art ball. I don't know what I'm talking about. My brain is all mixed up.
We had a question earlier that was general questions. So,
what is the glazing liquid used for? If it's is it only one color?
So they want to know, what do you use glazing liquid for? Does it come only like the glazing liquid? Is it only that opaque white?
Yeah, glazing liquid is the stuff basically that acrylic paints are made from. So it's the fluid stuff that is the binder in acrylics. Acrylics are made with polymer, acrylic polymer medium. And so this one is 100% acrylic medium. All of your mediums are pretty much that. So even your like soft gel matte, all of them, the acrylic mediums, no, I shouldn't say all of them, but things like matte medium, glazing medium, gel mediums, all of those are made with acrylic polymer. They're all basically the same thing, which is the binder that holds your acrylic paint together. It just is in clear form. So they look white in the tube and bottle, but then they dry clear just like your acrylic paints do. So all you're doing is taking your paint and manipulating them in different ways. So the glazing liquid just makes it more thin. and makes it so that you can make a transparent glaze out of it. Matte medium makes it so the colors dull a little bit, that makes it so they're not as shiny. It also helps give you a little bit more fluidity in your heavy body acrylics. So I see a lot of artists using matte medium instead of glazing liquid. Basically, both do the same thing, exact thing. Satin has a little sheen. The matte is more dull, but they both have an extender. So if you're buying golden products, both the matte medium and the glazing medium both have an acrylic extender that slows the drying time just slightly. So it makes it easier if you're doing thin, transparent layers and things like that. And glazing is a technique that you use to just change the color tone of a finished painting. So you finish your painting, it looks good, but you're like, oh, I wish I used a little bit more yellow in that section. Then you take your thin layer of glaze and you paint it over that area. It's not going to, because it's transparent, it's not going to change anything. It's just going to change the tint of the color. But you can still see the whole painting the same as you painted it, basically, if that makes sense. And then, like your matte gels and your gel mediums, that thickens up your paint. So you can use that. So if you're using impasto palette knife type techniques, it saves your paint. You can mix in as much of that binder as you want, as much of that gel medium as you want, and get really thick, goopy, thick impasto painting techniques without using as much of your, really expensive pigment paints. So it's just a way to kind of save yourself money, really. There, yeah. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, Matt, that all mediums are kind of, if you just think about them that way, they're all just kind of the binder, the glue that makes the paint stick together to your canvas, and you can use them interchangeably with any kind of acrylic paints that you want. So it doesn't have to be heavy body acrylics. You can use any kind of paint, any kind of acrylics. So, okay, let's go ahead and been doing this has been fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm glad we did all of our greens tonight, because we really didn't have that many greens that we would have had left. We would have had maybe these ones, but all the rest of these would have been in our olive tone one tonight. So I'm glad we got our green in, and that's going to leave us a rainbow Christmas, rainbow Christmas, baby. We did that last year. Remember, we did the Christmas trees. Oh, I have it right here, actually. The rainbow Christmas trees. Oh, yeah. So we'll probably do another rainbow Christmas this year. It'll be fun. Combine all the colors that we've used all year long. Now let's get our blocks out of the way here. Let's get our swatchy ball. Okay, so here's our, if you've been following our swatching videos, when we do at the end, I bought these at the beginning of the year on a whim, just as a fun. I don't know, you're looking at the dog.
I know.
Oh.
He was standing up looking at us.
Oh, okay.
People like that stuff.
I know. Okay.
People like to look at the dog.
I know.
He was looking cute, but then he sat down, goes, so I guess we're not done yet.
Oh, yeah. It's like never mind. All right. So I think I've gotten 3 of these now, because I got another one last week. I gave it away, and I've already given away one to the grandkids. So, oh, and there's mine. And I think these kits come with these little easels. These are the ones that I have so far. So I have a bunch of easels. And, all right. And then they come with these little magnifying glasses too. Okay, so this, oh, and then this. And it's got a little palette over here too. Little palette thing, which is really cute. I love that. All right. Let's do, okay, please be a, what do we want? Starry night. Starry night. Starry night. Okay. We got another one of these. We got all duplicates last month, so no more duplicates this month. Seriously. That was not right.
No whammies.
What?
No whammies.
No whammies. Yeah. They do make it fun, I have to say. They do a good job of creating these layers of anticipation.
Michael wants to know, how small can you paint?
How small
can you do one of these?
Oh, no.
To scale.
Oh, gosh. Not right now. I might have been able to before, but definitely not now. My eyes are really bad right now. That's why we're doing a loose series. Tuesday nights always are kind of a little bit more impressionist style, you know. But my challenge videos are usually, you know, pretty complicated. I kind of go a little bit more detail, and yeah, I can't do it right now. So hopefully in a few months we'll see. It's just my eyes are still healing up from cataract surgery. So
where did you get these? Did you get them on Amazon?
I got them through Walmart, I think.
Yeah. I saw them at Walmart.
Yeah,
so.
I bought a bunch of them at Walmart.
Okay.
All right, so here's the ones you can get. There's the banana taped up. That's the one I want. These are the, like, legendary ones. And these are all the different ones that you can get. So we'll just set those up.
All right, here we go.
All right, let's feel. Okay, I can tell already this is the magnifying glass. We always get a magnifying glass with it. All right. We're gonna take down the ones we already know what they are. So that's a painting, that's a painting. There's the easel. Okay, so we already had that easel. Same as what we had before. Okay. All right, 3 paintings. Here we go. Okay, this one feels like a square. I hope it's not one of these. Don't be samesies. Okay, I love that it came. Okay, I see dark squares. I don't know. All right. Oh, dang it. I knew it. Oh, shoot. It's the one with the mouse. Okay. Well, phooey. All right, so we have that one. All right, this one's better be different. I'm going to be mad. Be different.
Yeah, I was checking the package. You can just see if it had something on it, like a minifig box where you can scan it to see what it is, but I don't see anything.
Got it the same. Same as that one.
Jeepers.
Okay. Bummer.
Jeepers. Come on.
Right. Come on, you got to be different. I knew this was going to start happening. Oh, no, same.
Okay. Here.
Not even the one with the earphones. I would have taken the earphones guy, but all right, 2 for 2. I don't know. Are we going to have duplicates the whole rest of the time?
We got 4 more months.
Pretty frustrating. Okay, well,
wait a minute. Wait.
What?
We got September, October, November. Yeah, okay, 4 more months.
Yeah, 4 more months.
I can count.
Yep.
Do I need to run down to Walmart, buy some more?
No. You can hear the sadness. I'm a little sad. No, we've gotten some really good ones. It's been fun. This is yeah. I mean, it's all win-win because I just give them to my grandkids when I have the duplicates. So keeping all the, you know, original ones for myself. So I really don't have room for anymore.
You've inspired at least one person to buy some that said they picked some up at
oh, did I?
At Michael's this week.
Oh, that's fun. It is really fun. I have to say, it is fun. It's a little bit of a bummer when you get the duplicates, but they are still really cute. So, all right. Thank you guys. Sorry we had duplicates this week, but you know.
Michael wants me to go out and get more flowers.
Huh? Yeah, I know.
And Michael wants me to go out and get more flowers.
Thank you, Michael. Please. He never does that.
Get a spider.
He doesn't even have to buy him. He still doesn't bring them in for me.
There's our green garden spider for tonight.
Oh, there you go. There's it goes with our garden theme. People, okay, just trigger warning. Spider incoming. Isn't he beautiful? They're a link spider. Wow, he's getting big. He's been there since he was a little baby. Little one. They are ambush spiders, and they just sit in the same spot, so you can always find them. They don't move very much, and they just grab up whatever. They usually go like right near the flowers, but they blend right into the greenery and jump on. I've seen them with a bee one time. I saw them, that a lot of times they get wasps and things different, you know, they're good. They're good to have in the garden. And then they lay their eggs and guard the egg sac and just have it sit right over the eggs for several weeks. So they're really cute. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for our green swatching. So that's fun. So we've done two major colors. We've finished all of our greens. We finished all of our blues, and the teals in between. So and purple and magenta. So really all we've got is red, and we're going to do neutrals next month, I think. Orange.
I got the little chart here.
Orange, red. Yeah. So green has changed from November. Red will be in November spot. So move red up from December to November. And yeah, so next month we'll do umber, which I'm going to do all of the neutral colors. So browns, grays, all of those colors we'll do next month. And we'll do kind of a series of neutral paintings that's really popular right now. Actually, you see it a lot in decorating, so it's kind of fun. We'll do some neutral kind of green colors for our paintings, and then next month, not this month, and then we will do the orange for Halloween time, and then red and be done. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, I like that. I'm glad how it worked out. So yeah, if you want to download this color chart, thankfulart.com will have it, and as well as all the other color charts that we've done so far this year, and all the paintings. All my paintings on YouTube are free, and there's over 1,000 of them. So, and you can find all of them down at thankfulart.com. You can search for themes and look through all of the paintings there. I find it's a little bit easier than on YouTube. If you're looking on YouTube, go to the live tab, because most of my paintings are done live stream. So be sure you pop over to the live tab on my, if you just click my name under the video here, and look through the paintings there. All right. If you want to become a Patreon member and join us for the series that we're doing with the color mixing and all of that fun stuff, on Thursdays, we're going to be painting a seascape, or like a lakescape. And what we're doing is, it's really actually pretty fun. We're taking I have a series of different books that have color palettes in them, and we're just picking a random one and doing color mixing to these colors. So mixing these colors exactly as closely as we can, and then using them to fill in our landscape. So this one was Spectrum 66. So it was page 66 here. Let's see how close we got to our color mixing. And we mixed to that palette here first, and then we used all of those colors to create our landscape. And then this one was the same landscape with a different palette out of a different book. So that's what we're doing on Thursdays with our Patreon people, $15 tier Patreon people for the challenge tier, I think it's called. Anyhow, if you're interested in that, the $5 tier has traceables. So if you're interested in traceables, the $15 tier has everything. $5 tier just has traceables, doesn't have the Thursday live streams. So, and all kinds of other bonus videos and things that go along with that. So lots of bonus content on Patreon if you're interested in that. All right, just wanted to mention that. Thank you guys again. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate you. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.